Hey everyone, Big Pauly back with a brand new video. Back with a tagging video. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually done one of these. I was recently tagged by James over at Movies with James. He picked out kind of top 5 steelbooks that he's got in his collection that have a little bit of story behind them. And as he tagged me, obviously I've picked out 5 steelbooks. They're not necessarily the top 5 design steelbooks in the collection, but they are really nice design steelbooks that have got a story behind them, and I thought I'd share that story or those stories with you because I may not have told those stories before. Of course, at the end of this video I will tag somebody else and we'll just keep the chain going as much as we can. But yeah, let's get into it. I've got 5 steelbooks here, so let's start off. Now, even though the video has been tagged as a top 5 steelbooks in the collection, like I say, this is not necessarily the top 5 steelbooks in my collection. It's just 5 really nice steelbooks that have a story. So I'm not going to tag them 5 to 1, you know, as most popular, but we'll just go through them. First of all, we have Super 8. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That's a slipcover, Paul. It is actually a slipcover. I believe this was a Zavvi exclusive. I'll get to that in a minute. There's something special about this film. This was directed by J.J. Abrams, produced by Steven Spielberg. And yeah, it's just a run-of-the-mill slipcover until you take the slipcover off. And you get some fantastic artwork inside. And this threw up memories of all the old Drew Struzan poster art from back in the 80s and the early 90s. Kind of like the Indiana Jones stuff and Blade Runner and stuff like that. And it's a very kind of like George Lucas Spielberg kind of influence design. And I love this film because it was a throwback to those good old 80s feel-good films, those adventure films with like Goonies and Stand By Me and E.T. and stuff like that. The cast were really good. And it was just J.J. Abrams' love letter to the 80s. And of course, growing up in the 80s, you know, I was all about 80s films. And this really, you know, this clicked with me and brought back a lot of memories of growing up in the 80s. But I just love the artwork. I just love like the poster on this. And it's just absolutely fantastic. The back is just as good as well. It gives that kind of Close Encounters of the Third Kind of vibe. And the film was really good. The film was really good. Inside, you only have a couple of bare bones discs, just silver discs, but you do get some nice artwork in there. But I think it was a combination of the look of it, the feel of it, the sound of it, that just screamed out, welcome back to the 80s. Yeah, so that's Super 8. So that's a really beautiful looking steelbook, nice and glossy, and it comes with its own little slipcover. I think you might still be able to get this actually if you have a look over on Zavvi. There we go. So that is Super 8. Memories of the 80s. Next up, we have First Blood. Well, they're calling it Rambo, but it's actually just called First Blood. This is the first outing of John Rambo, obviously played by Sylvester Stallone. It is a really nice steelbook. It does have kind of like a slipcover around it, a plastic slip. There is a bit of a printing error, I believe. I think that is a printing error up the top there. But I'll get to the steelbook in a minute, and then I'll also share a few stories as well. So it just slides up like that. You actually get a really nice thick book. So you get a really nice thick book inside there. So that's pretty cool. And the steelbook itself is really nice. You know, you've got old John Rambo there peeking out through the bushes. And you've got some really nice debossing in blood red down there. And you've even got a bit of blood dripping down there on the side of his face. And obviously you've got the title up there of Stallone. But this one is actually called First Blood, whereas on the outside they called it Rambo for some reason. I don't know why. And nice spine there. Pretty cool back there as well. And we get 2 discs inside. I think it's 2 discs. Yeah, 2 discs. And everything is colour coordinated. So it's very like muddy brown. It's very gloomy. And it does kind of like fit with the partial theme of the film, because, you know, partly the film is a bit gloomy, you know, even looking at the town when, you know, Rambo just strolls into it. It's kind of very gloomy and misty and dark, and even up in the hills and all that. So it's not a bright, absolute bright colour, you know, that fits it, I think. Yeah, the story behind this, so far as the film, when I was at school in my youth, secondary school, I had a best friend called Peter. We used to do everything together. We used to, in our lunch breaks, I mean, my house is literally a 5-minute walk from my school. And we used to come home in my lunch break, and for an hour we used to get this old toaster, this like grilled toaster, and we would just shove some bread in it, shove a couple of burgers in it, and just, you know, snap it down, and just make ourselves like toasted burger sandwiches. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes we ended up with a bit of a cold burger because it didn't grill it all the way through. We didn't know all about how long you had to cook a burger for back then. It was just put it in something hot and hope for the best. Yeah, and we would just sit there, and in that hour we would just put on First Blood, and we would read off all the dialogue from the film. And even when we were at school, like I was in one class and Peter was in the other class, and we like passing in the corridor, one of us would say something and then the other one would say something else from the film as well. But it was mainly in our lunch breaks, pretty much every single lunch break, because you was allowed to leave school during your lunch break back in those days. A lot of the kids used to go to McDonald's rather than having the school dinners. Well, the school dinners back in the 80s consisted of like sausage and chips, burger and chips, lasagna and chips, pizza and chips. That's pretty much it. So yeah, we had something a little bit different. We had toasted beef burger sandwiches and First Blood. Yeah, so great memories there. That's First Blood, and it's a hell of a film as well. It's a hell of a film, no matter what you call it on the title. Okay, so that's Rambo. Oh, that's First Blood, rather. Next up is a bit of an emotional story. Next up, we've got Captain Marvel. Now, let me just take this out of here. Now, a lot of you will know that our family had a cat, a ginger cat called Bobby. I will post a picture here. And we had her for quite a few years, and unfortunately she passed away back in 2019. And this film came out, Captain Marvel, and I remember the trailers, Little Goose, and it just got me and Mama Bowman really excited. We were looking forward to the film. I still love this film. It is one of my favourites of the MCU. No matter what anybody else says, I love Brie Larson's portrayal of Captain Marvel. I love the whole, you know, Jude Law and Samuel L. Jackson, and coming down to the 90s with Blockbuster Video and Radio Shack and all that kind of stuff. And it did kind of like lay the groundwork for a lot of MCU that was to come. And Ben Mendelsohn was brilliant in the film as well. And we were really excited about going to see the film, and even into the cinema foyer down in Cineworld. I took a photograph of Mama Bowman standing next to a massive cardboard cutout of Goose from the film, which I will post a picture or a little video here for you. And it's just over here on the side of my shoulder, basically on the shelf. and you can see Mama Bowman was just kind of like patting Goosey's head. And it's because we lost Bobby that there was just something a little bit special that we could hang on to, and we knew that. I don't know. It kind of had a link to Bobby. I mean, I've got Goose stuff around here. I've got pop vinyl figures that are on display here. I've got a poster on the wall. I've also got this, which you press the stomach, and the flirkin comes out. So yes, just that, it was just something special because it reminded us of Bobby. But it's a really nice steelbook. You know, it comes with that cardboard. It comes with a lenticular magnet. I mean, taking that off, it's really lovely steelbook as it is, with the embossing on there and the title. You've got a little goose down the bottom there. You've got a lenticular magnet, which just slaps on the front there. Like that. The inside I really like. It's got a picture of Bree there on a motorcycle, and we have some nice discs, but it's also when you turn it round and you get Goose on the back, and that is just Bobby. That is just Bobby. Yeah, and it was just the love of Goose in the film, and the kind of connection that me and Mama Bowman had when we watched the film. Yeah. So yeah, it's always got a special place in my heart, this film. Also, it's the very last MCU film Mama Bowman saw at the cinema. So I'll always remember that. That's why I love this film so much. Everything else, you know, she saw kind of like here in the cinema room. Yeah, so it was something a little bit special. It was a reminder for Mama Bowman. It was a reminder for Bobby the cat as well. Yeah, so there we go. So that is Captain Marvel. Right, let's put this in its plastic packaging. There we go. Next up, this is a bigger one. This is a Blue Fans edition. This is Rogue One. So let me just crank this out. First of all, it's absolutely beautiful. These double lenticular packages are absolutely incredible. Fantastic. The steelbook on this, there is a story. When Rogue One came out, so far as physical media, the only steelbook you had was kind of like stormtroopers like splashing about in what looks like a swimming pool. It was on the planet, but it looked like they were splashing about in a swimming pool. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the design on that. And I was really happy when Blue Fans released a steelbook like that, with all the characters on there, poster artwork, embossing Rogue One. I mean, the whole of Rogue One and the Star Wars story is embossed down there. And then we had a really nice back to it as well, with a Death Star there. And no stormtroopers splashing about as far as I can see. Yes, they are. There they are. But that's what you got. You kind of got like a zoomed in shot of that on the front of the old steelbook. And of course it comes with 3 discs. And there was something special about Rogue One. Obviously being the best of the Disney Star Wars films. Midnight screenings for films like this. And even the films that came before it, such as The Force Awakens, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, stuff like that. There was something special about midnight screenings. Everything would sell out. And there was just something special about being in the room with so many fans of the same genre and the films. People sometimes dressed up, had lightsabers and stuff like that. Even with the Harry Potters, kids would actually dress up with cloaks and wizards, with wands and things like that. But and this link, because of when this was set, the special link that it had to A New Hope was just fantastic. And the audience's response when Vader showed up at the end, and the Princess Leia scene right at the very end, was just something really special. It was a great action-packed film, and just following these characters of Jyn Erso and the rest of them, it was just really awesome. And you know, the first introduction of Cassian Andor, which, you know, has become such a popular character now that there's even, you know, we've got a second season of Andor coming up, which is going to link up with Rogue One, and there's going to be characters from Rogue One in season 2 of Andor. It was just such a special Star Wars film, and it was a special time pre-pandemic. It was a special time for going to midnight screenings. It was just balls out. There was so much merchandise. So many people would be all crowded into the foyer. And one of my friends, Lewis, was actually there as well when I went at the same time on the midnight screening. And it would sell out amongst, you know, like 5 or 6 screens. I know they do sort of have midnight screenings. They don't have that many midnight screenings now, but you know, you get a big film like maybe Spider-Man No Way Home or Guardians 3, and you know, or Deadpool, and they would have midnight screenings. It was just, I don't know, it's changed since those days, and it's a shame because everyone was so excited. Even the Hunger Games ones, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a little bit different now. I don't think the midnight screenings are as involved now and as exciting as they used to be, and that's a real shame. And then everything changed, of course, with the pandemic, and yeah, it's just everything changed. Yeah, my last one is a Black Baron edition, which I only have one in the collection, and it is Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, let me just take this one out, because this is an absolutely gorgeous steelbook, I'm telling you. Okay, first of all, we've got, hang on, we've got like a postcard thing on the back there with a membership. We've got an absolutely gorgeous package there with a double lenticular. Really nice. And on the back there, I mean, the depth in that is, it's just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. She's kneeing me in the face. I'm telling you, the depth is so insane. She is literally kneeing me in the head. Yeah, and you get a lovely package in there as well. And the steelbook, as soon as I saw this steelbook, I saw the designs on this steelbook before I even saw the rest of the package. And I was sold on the steelbook. I just would have bought the steelbook on its own, you know, without the outer packaging. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It is glossy. There's embossing absolutely everywhere. The title, you've got all the way around her. The colours go all the way around it. You get an absolutely fantastic back there. And with kind of like high glossy shimmering effect on the sword and on the metal parts of her arm. It's just a absolutely beautiful steelbook, and I've not seen a steelbook to resemble that. And it does come with 4 discs actually. So there's 4 discs inside there, which includes the 4K, the 3D. What else? We've got the Blu-ray, and we've also got looks like a bonus disc on Blu-ray as well. So an absolutely gorgeous steelbook. Now the funny thing is, I still have not seen the film. The story behind this, I went to watch this in my local Cineworld in Dover. And we were just getting into it. It was like literally about 7 minutes into the film, and the 3D projector broke. It literally broke and busted in front of us. The manager came in. We thought, oh, they're just going to restart it and we'll be good as gold again. But no, I think they probably only have one 3D projector in Cineworld Dover, because it's only got 6 screens, so it's not a big 12 screener. And unfortunately, he came in and said, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show it. me show it until the projector gets fixed. So we ended up getting a lot of vouchers. And to this day, I have still not seen this film. To dig the knife in even harder, because now I've got my OLED screen, which is blocking out my 3D projection screen. If I watch this, it'll be in 4K, not 3D. So that's even worse because I still can't see it in 3D. So until I get a way of using my projector on maybe a screen that's closer or in front of my OLED, then I'm not going to get to see it in 3D, unfortunately. But there will come a time, but it'll be nice to check it out in 4K anyway. But yeah, it's just an absolutely gorgeous steelbook. There you go. So that is 5 of my favourite steelbooks in the collection with little stories attached to them. Yeah, so thanks James for tagging me on this. Now I'm going to tag someone else. I am going to tag Justin. Not just any Justin, Blue Justin. Yes, so pick out some steelbooks, Justin. I know it's going to take a little while, but I'm sure you can pick a couple out, and maybe there'll be some stories as well that you can do. And then hopefully once Justin's done, he can tag someone else in as well. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this video and a little look into some of my favourite steelbooks in the collection and some stories that are attached to it. If you did, like the video by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. I will tag James' video in underneath there, down in the comments, so you can go over and have a look to see what 5 steelbooks he picked from the collection. Don't forget to subscribe while we're over there. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to Justin as well when he puts these up. Pardon. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one very soon. Bye bye.